Brighten up those already bright mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
Listen here, Jill. It's been a couple of mornings in a row where it hasn't been that bright. It's a little chilly outside. It's a plus 15 right now, but it is a little chilly, and all of this rain is not helping out the backyard situation. So we have a backyard. We do the upper suite of this house. We get access to the backyard, right?
Yes.
And it's not draining particularly well.
Uh-oh.
Now, it drained well before all this construction, so I can only blame the city of Yellowknife for ruining our backyard. No, it's just not. We've had so much rain, a record amount of rain in July, or at least we're on pace for a record or something. We are. I read that.
Oh, you're okay.
I read that earlier. That we're,
Something to do with a record.
Something to do with a record. Rainfall, July, Yellowknife. But we've had a ton of rain, and it's not draining particularly well. And the mosquito magnet, which we were handed down from the owners of the house, also crapped out.
I assume it's been overloaded.
It was. But I mean,
Lord.
it does get overloaded. It stops working. You empty it out and it starts working again. So like it goes for about 3 weeks on a tank of propane, and it creates like a carbon monoxide. You put a little carbon monoxide thing in there, and it attracts, or carbon dioxide thing. It attracts the bugs. They get close and they get sucked up into it. So it crapped out. Water is not draining from the backyard, so our backyard is like mosquito apocalypse. As in, not their apocalypse, but ours. I walk outside to, like, because for just going to the bathroom, like I'll take Betty for a quick walk.
Yeah.
We'll take her for big walks, and then like just a quick pee right before bed. Just take her to the backyard on a leash. She pees, and we're just swarmed. And I'm just covered in bites. And I know you know this. Phoenix reacts terribly to mosquito bites, so now she refuses to do it.
Fair.
Is it?
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Thirsty Thursdays down here at Cabin Radio. Come on down for a pint. We don't have any. You'll be turned away at the door. It's a very exclusive party. We're not even invited. Continuing on what we were talking about at the opening there, our backyard has turned into a mosquito breeding ground. And there's like, because it's not draining very well, there's like a couple little parts of like still water just sitting there.
Right.
And they're just breeding like, well, rabbits.
Yeah.
Probably worse than rabbits.
So the rest of us have you and Phoenix to blame. Am I
hearing
this correctly? Because it's crazy buggy.
It's crazy buggy
there
this year, and everyone's like, well, it's bad every year. It's like, but there are varying degrees of mosquito-ness or bugness. Like sometimes it's a little better, and right now it's really terrible because there's been a ton of moisture. But even before there was a ton of moisture, there was a lot of bugs. It started off very, very quickly and very heavy. So I mean, it's kind of, it's almost shotgun time.
Shotgun time.
Pull out the shotgun and just start spraying into the air.
I don't think those are effective.
I don't know.
Against mosquitoes.
Yeah, I think they would be. I mean, if a shotgun could take down a elk, I don't hunt. Certainly it can take down a mosquito. But yeah, it has been remarkably bad. Now, if you go like south of the river into one of the parks or something like that, it's always really bad.
Yeah.
Or if you go to the bush at all, it's always really bad. But in town, it's been brutal.
Yeah. Right downtown.
Yeah, right downtown. So I don't think you have us to blame, but we're certainly not helping the situation.
No.
Because our mosquito magnet crapped out.
Do you think it just got overloaded?
Well,
Just
it got
too many
overloaded, but
mosquitoes
then you
now?
empty it and you start it up again.
Yeah, but I mean, if it gets overloaded once,
Well,
I don't know if it starts up again after that.
Well, I think the propane just ran out. I think that's what it is. So I need to get the propane filled. So it didn't crap out. I just need to do something. But I haven't done it yet.
My car crapped out. No, it just ran out of gas. Go fill it up.
I can't do that. I don't have time. So I haven't done that yet. But yeah, like Melanson, a friend of the show, Jason Melanson, sent us a message saying, "Oh, so we have you to blame because he lives just around the corner from me." And I mean, they could have reached over there. Mosquitoes can travel for hundreds of miles.
Jason, lend your neighbor some propane.
Yeah.
Isn't that what good neighbors do?
Yeah. That's right. Come pour some propane.
Go and borrow a spot of propane.
That's right. Can I have a cup? Just a cup of it.
I'm running low.
Liquefied.
Doing
please.
some baking.
Liquefied, please. Don't give me the gas. So yeah, it's been in the backyard there. It's like we have to, like, Phoenix legitimately put on a bug jacket to take the dog out.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's intense.
Because we have to keep her on a leash. Like, we can't let her out on her own because she'll just run rampant all over the yard and she'll, break herself for God's sake, because she's, a bionic dog at this point. She's got metal legs. well, metal in her legs. So
Are you calling her the bionic dog? Are you
kind of
nicknaming her? She runs around like the bionic dog.
Well, she doesn't run around. We can't let her run around. And she's still got a bit of a weird gait because she's now getting her musculature back in her legs.
Right.
So she's got this weird gait. So if she's walking slow, it looks like she's walking like a cartoon seductress. Hips back and forth. It's really cute. And at the same time, I'm just like, oh, my poor baby. She doesn't have enough strength in her legs to do stuff. But then she always wants to run.
Those hips aren't naturally sassy.
They're not that sassy.
No.
But like when she gets out of the car or when we start taking her for a walk, she just wants to go. And she'll go until she breaks herself, and it sucks. So we have to keep her on the leash in the backyard to go for little pees and stuff like that. And sometimes we'll just take her for little loops around the backyard because we'll take her on a big walk, and then we'll kind of take her on little walks in the backyard.
Yeah.
Because like the ground's a little too uneven outside of our place right now because of the construction.
Right.
So we're just kind of trying to keep her on even ground for now. And so we go out there for a couple minutes, and you're just ridiculously swarmed and attacked by these, I don't know, visitors from elsewhere. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I don't know. Coming in from elsewhere and sucking our blood. Anyway.
Are you really painting the mosquitoes as illegal immigrants of some kind?
No.
Okay.
No. Asylum seekers. No, not at all. Not at all. So yeah, it's been pretty bad in the backyard, especially. And Phoenix reacts terribly to mosquito bites. Like, just to mosquito bites. Like, a hair eater landed on our kitchen window on the outside. And I was like, oh, look at this guy. She's like, what the hell is that? And I said, that's a hair eater.
She's never seen a hair eater before?
I think she may have seen one, didn't know what it was.
Oh,
and maybe saw it at a distance and didn't see it like right next to her face on the window. They're big.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're scary.
Yeah, they're huge. And she's like, what the hell is that? I was like, it's a hair eater. I'm like, oh. I was
They
like,
eat your hair.
These are the ones that get up under your hairline and bite the crap out of you.
Start rolling around, rolling and biting.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know that she may not react to it as severely as a mosquito bite, not because the mosquitoes have they release something that allows them to soften your skin to get into it, right? So that's maybe what she's reacting to. I think she would just react to this one because it's biting the crap out of her, taking a chunk out of her neck.
Yeah, I don't think anyone reacts well to hair eaters.
No. Oh God, they're awful. You know?
I don't know if it's linked at all, but apparently in Winnipeg has been experiencing a awful mosquito season as well. And that's traditionally
just
kind of the thing. Well, but the last 2 summers, I was talking to my mom last week.
It's too hot and dry sometimes.
Well, it's hot and humid now.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. Well, that's the thing about here this year. It's hot and humid this year.
Yeah. But the last 2 summers, my mom said they didn't have any mosquitoes. It was just beautiful. Somehow, I don't know how, but it worked out that they didn't have any mosquitoes in their backyard.
And dry.
This year, they've just seen an explosion of mosquitoes. And
because the permafrost is melting and the world is ending. It's fine. It's 2020, baby. Anything can happen.
That's right.
Anything can happen. And the thing about mosquitoes, you say that it's worse this year or feels worse this year, and everybody kind of says, well, it kind of goes up and down, or like it's always bad. And it is.
Yeah.
But some years are worse than others. And I was talking to a scientist, and he said it was the worst it's ever been. So.
I'm sure there's some smug entomologist out there who's like, this is only the 3rd worst summer that's ever been.
Entomologists. Mm-hmm. Huh?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, the bug, entomologists.
I was thinking ichthyologist, but that's a bird or a fish. That's fish. Ichthyologist? All right.
A fish scientist?
An entomologist? Is that right? Bugs?
Entomologist. Yeah.
All right.
Starts with an E.
I was just going to say bug guy.
That works too.
All right.
I think they take that.
All right. I think we've got this figured out. Mosquitoes bad.
Mornings at the Cabin, the podcast, where we cut out all the great music and you're left with the rest.
If you haven't been paying attention, Old Town Ramble and Ride is up and running. It's the virtual edition this year. They've got, I think, 24 days of concerts and art and all kinds of things for you to experience. You can experience it mostly online. But one of the things you can experience for yourself once it stops raining, which it looks like it has. You know, there was fog rolling in this morning?
Ugh.
Super creepy. It wasn't the stuff that turns you inside out, though.
Oh, thank God.
Ugh. Just one sniff of that fog and you're inside out. One of the things you can go down and check out for yourself, absolutely stunning, and what a great addition to the area, right up by Weaver and Devore there, right by Bullocks. Great place to go walking. Such a lovely, Old Town is such a lovely place to just kind of walk around.
Yeah.
To ramble. To ride in Old Town. Artist Heather Duenker We went back and forth about how to pronounce that.
I think we got it.
I think we got it.
Yeah.
Hedda Dunker put up a mural on the Weaver and DeVore warehouse there. Is absolutely stunning. And I love Yellowknife. I love YK mural next to Weaver and DeVore. It's on their warehouse. It's on the side, right on the street there. And there's a time-lapse video of her creating this mural at Old Town Ramble and Ride on Facebook. It's fantastic. I mean, you always love watching an artist work.
Yeah.
And like seeing it in a time lapse just kind of gives you a real good sense of how long it took, but how much work goes into something like this. It's absolutely stunning. Go check it out in Old Town. Go check it out on the Facebook page. And if you don't want to leave the house today because it's kind of gray and gross, but once that sun's out again, head on down there, take a picture next to it. It's going to be the new photo hotspot.
Yeah, based on the video, it looks like it took her maybe like the better part of 3
days,
possibly 4 days.
She got like 4 costume changes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a lot of work.
I love the time-lapse effect, too, where you have people randomly popping in.
Yeah.
And just, and up they go.
Yeah.
So this has become, now you're on Instagram, correct?
I am on Instagram. And
obviously Cabin Radio is on Instagram.
You're not on Instagram.
I am not on Instagram.
Get your butt on the gram.
And I've just recently become aware
that
of
Instagram
this.
existed?
No, that I was aware it existed.
Okay.
I was actively avoiding it.
All right.
Of this phenomenon of like the wings. People paint just murals of wings around, different city centers. Yeah. And it's like a huge thing on Instagram, I suppose, according to the kids I hear.
Uh-huh.
For kids to pose in front of these wings.
So it looks like they have wings.
And get their picture taken. Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
So it
That's
looks like
exactly
they have wings.
what she's done here.
And I was just like, oh, this is an Instagram thing.
It's a grammar.
I realized how out of touch I've become.
You have.
When I became aware of this phenomenon from a Jim Jeffries stand-up special.
You are out of touch.
It's like, wow, Jim Jeffries is more with it than I am.
Well, yeah.
That's troubling.
Why is it troubling?
Well, he's from Australia.
He's kind of a smart guy.
I mean, he kind of celebrates his own ignorance at times.
Yeah, but I suppose. But I mean, that's how we should all be acting. We should all be celebrating our own ignorance because none of us know anything.
And we do.
As I look out my right, I don't know. I said my right side. As I look out the window here at Studio One, I just want to interject for a second.
Okay.
And give a shout out to Stu Bromley.
Okay.
Who is across the street, cleaning off the street every morning, down below our building, cleaning off the street every morning, and in the winter he's cleaning off the snow. He's here at like 5 a.m. Like he never stops.
No, he doesn't.
And that's all I want to do. I just want to give Stu Bromley a big shout out.
Let's trying to help them out with that property sale.
Well, yeah, exactly right.
They take good care of it. Honestly, the best care that one can take of a building.
That's right.
And it's in tip-top shape. You should probably just
get
slap down $7 million or so.
Yeah.
Just take the whole lot.
Before some blasted firm out of Toronto buys it up.
Big smelly corporation.
That's probably what's going to happen. Anyway, back to Old Town Ramble and Ride. Go down to Old Town, check out the mural. It's on the side of Weaver and DeVore. It's beautiful. Get your picture taken. You can step in the middle there, and it says Yellow and Knife on either side. It says I love Yellowknife. It's pretty awesome.
And put it on your Instagram. I think that's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you have to do.
You have to.
I think so.
You're compelled to throw that picture on your
There's
Instagram.
a sign there that says, if you're not going to put this on the gram, get the hell out of here.
And fair enough. There's really no point in taking pictures unless you're putting them on social media for everyone to see.
If I don't, it didn't happen. Go check it out and check out Old Town Ramble and Ride on Facebook for all event details.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Okay. I'm going to try to get through this without getting all choked up and whatnot. Don't give me that pouty lip.
Okay.
Don't give me it's a really nice story, but it's also tinged with a bunch of sadness. Jessie Wilson, Yellowknifer, houseboater, friend of the show, although I don't think she listens. But she supports Cabin Radio.
She does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Friend of the station. Has a dog named Gabby. Gabby's 5. And a few weeks back, she found out that Gabby, I believe it's cancer. Now, I didn't get a clarification on this, but I believe it's cancer, was diagnosed with cancer, and does not have long to go.
Yeah.
And instead of going through painful treatments, has decided to just give Gabby the best last summer any dog has ever had. Going out on adventures, going camping, canoeing, exploring the territory, having a wonderful staycation, and just kind of giving her, blowing out the tanks.
The Summer of Gabby.
Summer of Gabby. It's on her Instagram, hashtag Summer of Gabby. And if you want to follow Jessie Wilson's story, you can do that on Instagram if you like. So I heard about that. Obviously, that's super sad. Jessie and I used to live in the same building, so we'd always see our dogs together. And you know, a wonderful dog. And Jessie's a really nice person, and it's a sad story. Obviously, to lose a dog at any time, but to lose one so young, 5 years old.
Yeah.
But again, taking the positive from the negative and trying to give Gabby the best last summer that she can have, right? Giving her the best moments that she can have before they say goodbye. And so, in the spirit of that, like I said, she's been going on camping trips, and she's been sharing this on Instagram and just having as many adventures as possible. And yesterday, she posted on Salvagers Unite, if anyone had a dress or a tutu that could fit a dog. And I, of course, piqued my interest. I was like, well, this sounds interesting. Because I knew about the Summer of Gabby, and I knew about, I knew about everything. And so she's searching for a dress for a dog wedding. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little dog wedding. Yeah. Which I think is super cute. So I messaged her last night, and I said, hey, listen, like, we want to talk about this on the show. We think it's awesome. Can you just give me the kind of the background on it? And so Gabby, her pup, is getting married to her best friend Bojack, the Schnauzer Husky.
Yeah.
They're going to have a small, intimate ceremony on Jolliffe later this summer. Jolliffe Island, for those of you who are uptowners. Jessie Olson, Bojack's human, and I had joked all winter about how Boj and Gab should get married. We live in houseboats next door to each other, and every morning Gabby would show up at their door and wait for Bojack to come out and play. Buh! I kind of forgot about it after I got Gabby's diagnosis. I wanted to have a joyous ceremony for Gabs with all her favorite people, and what's more joyous than a wedding? Right now, we're looking for a dress for Bojack to wear for the wedding. Technically, he's the male in the duo, but it's a GD dog wedding, so gender roles have no place here. Also, Gabs already looks like she's wearing a tux. She does.
That's true, yeah.
And Bose would just look better in a dress. And that's
you wouldn't
incredible.
Not suit a dress. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
and I mentioned to her that because we get bark box, right?
Oh, do you?
We get bark box.
Bark boxers.
Bark boxers. We're probably going to discontinue it because it's a lot of toys.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And she goes through them. It's pretty wasteful.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got this bark box, and in February it was Oscars. It was the Oscars, so everything they released like themed dog toys and dog treats.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So one of the treats was best documentary. Anyway, and two of the toys were one of the toys was like a squeaky thing that you could put around her neck.
Okay.
So one side was a tux chest or a tux top, and the other side was a diamond necklace that squeaks and scratches, and you could put it around their neck. So I said, "Listen, I've got a necklace dog toy that is wearable." So she's all over that.
Aww.
So I'm going to give that to her before the wedding. And so we just wanted to share that. We just wanted to share that story. It's sad, and at the same time, being able to have the time. She's just so grateful to be able to have this time with Gabby to give her just the best send off that she can give her. The most joyous summer ever. And it struck a chord obviously because like we lost our dog a few years ago.
Yeah,
he was 5, not being able to have any of that time to say goodbye is a huge blow. It's like it's a huge part of the grief process. Is if you have time to say goodbye, you start that grieving process a little earlier.
Yeah,
so you're letting some of that go already. So not being able to do that is really tough. So it's amazing that she's able to do this, and just to show how much love she has for her pet, to do all that is pretty incredible. And we just wanted to share that. Jessie Wilson and Gabby having the Summer of Gabby. Beautiful stuff. And they're going to have a little wedding between her and her best buddy, Bojack, which is amazing. That's incredible. It's a beautiful thing. And we just wanted to share that little story. We thought it's not meant to make you sad. There's some happiness to this.
Yeah.
Right? She's going to lose her friend, but at the same time is going to give her best friend, the best send-off that she can give.
Yeah, it's making the best of obviously a very sad and
exactly
unfortunate situation.
And that speaks to the kind of person that Jesse is.
Jaya and Finnegan will most certainly be in attendance for
Very
the wedding.
nice.
Longtime friends of Gabby's. In fact, I think Jaya might have been Gabby's first friend.
No.
Yeah, when she first made her appearance in Yellowknife.
Yep.
And Jaya kind of, was a couple of years older, kind of showed her the ropes. And then Finnegan.
After nipping at her and barking.
No. I think Jay accepted Gabby right away, although I wasn't around for that.
Very
so
lucky.
Jesse might be able to tell me differently. Maybe she did have to tune her in once or twice. But nevertheless, good friends, Jaya and Gabby, and Finnegan became good friends with Gabby as well. Although he used to get really annoyed with Gabby. Because she was like, a couple years older than him, and he was a puppy, so she was a lot faster than him. Yeah. Gabby always had a ton of energy on walks. That's one of her personality traits, just full of energy. Yeah. And she would just literally be running circles around Finnegan. He would be trying to just catch her with a bite on every second lap. Just a wonderful dog. So very sad, but awesome that Jesse at the very least gets to send her off in the best way possible. The Summer of Gabby.
Summer of Gabby. Follow Jessie Wilson on Instagram. I mean, you could request. She may not let you. But the Summer of Gabby continues. We wish you nothing but the best, Jessie and Gabby.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
AJ joining us for harking.
A harking.
We're harkening back to Yellowknife's past. Not too far past, though. It opened when did it open? I'm looking. It's not actually in the story. I can't remember. Mid-90s? Early 90s.
Early 90s.
The Wade Hamer Mini Golf Course, which is right beside the Ruth Inch Memorial Pool. For those of you who are new to Yellowknife or say have only lived here 8 years, there used to be a mini golf course right there next to the tennis courts and next to the Ruth Inch Memorial Pool. And, it didn't go over the best. It opened.
It did for a while.
It did for a while, right?
It was cool.
There's a story up on CBC.ca about the history of the golf course, right? And it piqued our interest. It looks like, there's pictures that says it was open in 96. So we'll say 96.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Used to attract 8,000 visitors a year, which piqued my interest because I was like, and you said it too, AJ, is that total or for the whole time it was open? But 8,000 visitors a year, I was like, is that the first year? Because after that, it kind of petered out. I remember going when it opened. I was super excited because when we used to go down to into the States, like in Florida around Disney World and stuff like that in Orlando, there's these amazing mini golf courses. Incredible. And we used to go all the time. So I used to love mini golf. So when a mini golf course opened here, I was super stoked on it. And it was actually a pretty good course when it first opened.
It was cool. They had a lot of different features and very local stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was all very locally themed. It was 19 holes. The 19th hole was the KFC bucket hole, where if you got it in the hole in the KFC bucket, you won yourself a bucket of KFC.
Hey,
beautiful! Not a free game, bucket of KFC, which is actually more expensive.
Yeah,
it's a better prize, a bucket of KFC. So it's an interesting history. You can still technically go there and play on it. I remember the first year I came back to Yellowknife, it was 2015, the summer 2015. I went by there and we walked around it, and I showed Phoenix the old course, and it was fairly clear. It looked like it was still being kept up a little bit.
No,
not anymore.
Not anymore.
You would not want to go there.
Not anymore because all the holes are filled with pee. But you could just bring your own ball and golf club and go for it. Right. Bring a driver, and drive it from the first hole into Niven Lake.
You could
or into Frame Lake.
Yeah. That's the picture there.
That's right.
The logo. It's with a little kid with the driver.
Full swing.
Full swing.
That makes the walking trail a little more dangerous and exciting.
I never noticed that. He's literally swinging with an iron in this.
That's a wood.
That is a wood.
That's a full-on driver. Possibly a 3-wood.
That's a 1-wood.
You guys have never putted before? You got to follow through.
You got to follow through all the way through. So the history of this golf course is riddled with vandalism. Because it's it wasn't fenced, it was just an open area, and then of course in 2012, which I didn't know, I think I maybe knew it and forgot, the clubhouse burnt down.
Yeah,
but it was closed before that.
It was closed before
because I haven't read the article, but I think it was tendered every year.
Yeah,
So
and
you'd
like
have to-
no one could make it successful.
Yeah,
because,
and no one did it one year. No one even applied.
No.
And then since that, it was like, okay, well, I guess we're just done with this.
Well, but I mean, like summer tourism wasn't a huge thing back then. Like
that was for locals. That wasn't for
exactly.
tourism.
And like, I mean, there's only 20,000 people in town. There's only so many times you can play the mini golf course before you get bored of it. And I mean, yeah, it was a great attempt at doing something. They built it all in a weekend. That's another thing I didn't know that I learned from this article. Is that
that's crazy.
100 volunteers built it in a weekend.
Yeah,
that's
which
cool.
is nuts.
Just divvy out a hole.
Yeah.
Your group gets hole 1, your group gets hole 2.
That's a lot of work.
a ton of work.
19-hole mini golf course in a weekend, like
over a bunch of granite. Like that's tough to do. So yeah, like no one could really make a go of it. It couldn't. It wasn't making any money. It was getting vandalized all the time. Like Ter Hamer, who started it, which is why it's named after his son, Wade Hamer. Said that they were dealing with thousands of dollars worth of vandalism every week, and so like it's nuts. There's a great quote in the article itself where it was summer in Yellowknife, so you could count on 3 things: mosquitoes, midnight sun, and a vandalized golf course. So I mean,
that's horrible.
Yeah, it is horrible.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But horrible.
Apparently, mostly attributed to a gang called the Midnight Tokers.
Hey, I used to be part of them tokes.
I've heard of them. They used to run these streets.
They used to run these streets.
Another great quote from the story. Hamer says, "We did catch one young lad. He had done $5,500 in vandalism. He was fined $75.
That tracks.
Whoa.
That tracks. Given what we see for people with violent crimes, and here it's just like, well,
man,
he caused this much damage. Let's give him a month in prison.
Like, make him volunteer at the
make
course.
Make him
clean it up.
Yeah.
$75.
Make him pay for it.
For a summer student, that's nothing.
I mean, it's probably
peanuts.
Probably an under 18-year-old, right? So Young Offenders Act, here's your $75 fine.
Yeah.
The city was paying demanding $5,200 a year in property taxes.
Yeah.
Like,
why
would you do that?
Yeah.
It's not being
Waive
used
them.
for anything else.
Totally.
Why not just give it to them for $1 and allow them to make money on it?
We thought about taking that tender one year. Just me and a couple buddies. We're
Yeah,
like, well, what do we want to do for work this summer?
Let's just open the golf
We thought,
course.
well, yeah, maybe we'll just pick up the tender for the golf course.
I think
The
it's
mini
still
golf
available
course.
if you're still looking.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, with no shack. Are you crazy?
No, well, yeah, that's true.
Where do
Yeah.
we hang out?
Yeah.
Where do we loiter?
I put up a tent.
Yeah.
I guess we could.
So it does say there
A
that
bug
today
tent this year.
the foundations laid by the volunteers 30 years ago still support the occasional game. Again, pee-pee-soaked heck hole.
There's a lot of urine on
This
that
hole
course.
12.
Bring a sub pump.
Yeah,
Bring
a lot of
gloves.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't even realize it was still here. It is still here. I mean, it could be cleaned up now. Let's start it.
It wouldn't be hard to. It would be easier
Redo
to
it.
revamp it
Yeah.
than it would be to build it in the first place.
And then
they did
just
it one
put
weekend.
an electrified fence around it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Put spikes everywhere.
Put spikes everywhere, like,
that seems to be a
yeah.
common suggestion. Actually,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting because, so I moved here in 2013 and the fire to the clubhouse happened in 2012. So
longer.
I moved in, moved to Yellowknife just as the ashes were still smoldering.
I was going to say, so you moved to town and the mini golf course burnt down?
But every year, I hear it talked about. Like, literally every year I've heard it talked about. Every summer since then, someone's like, I should really revive this old golf course. It's a great little golf course, completely abandoned now. Never happens. But
No.
people love to talk about
Well, because it's a tough thing to do. Obviously, there's a ton of work that needs to go into it. And then there's no way to protect it. And anybody who's been around long enough knows that it was just vandalized constantly.
Right.
Because it's like, it's not completely out of the way, but you can remain hidden from view in that place very easily.
Do you think, ironically, it hasn't been vandalized in the last, 6 years since it's just become abandoned?
Well,
just
I mean,
no one cares anymore. Why would it be vandalized?
Do you know anything about vandalism, Lecter? You only
I'm not an
vandalize that
expert.
which will be noticed.
Yes.
So people know you're cool.
So
that's why
it's-
people tag with their little signatures. It's like, well, now people know.
you think the midnight tokers just drive by, go, remember the good old day, boys?
Yeah, remember that?
Oh.
Yeah, they're all married. They're all married with kids now.
Look what we did. We totally ran it to the ground.
Ah,
that was our
son,
greatest
let me
accomplishment.
tell you a tale.
Yeah, let me tell you the tale of the time we burnt down a mini golf course.
See that tag, son? That's your old man.
I mean, I remember vandalizing it. I'm joking. I never did that. But
would never.
there it is. Never say never, I guess.
So no one ever vandalized the golf course. Is
Not
what you're
I.
saying.
Not in this room.
No
Not
one
I.
ever.
Not
did
these
it.
angels.
No.
No, I never did.
We were
never
we were
did.
the Midnight Saints. We called ourselves.
biggest-
Ah.
I'll tell you the worst vandalism I ever did. Ever.
Go on.
Wait, maybe that's not the worst one. No, it is. Okay.
Maybe I'm not allowed to talk about that.
No, I can talk about it. So back in the day, everybody you'd tag grad something, your grad year everywhere.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So like
Back
right
in
across
the day, that still happens.
it still
every
does
year.
happen. Like you see it out on Highway
Yeah.
3 all the time. People,
sure.
Yeah,
Maybe
grad
not this
2020
year.
was out. No, grad 2020
Oh,
was
was
out there.
there?
There's
Okay.
one on the way back.
Yeah.
From the river, you see it coming into the city, and it's like grit, and then it stops. Like so.
That's when COVID hit.
That's right.
They were working
they're
on
like,
it.
Someone
"Tough
drove by."
run."
Yeah.
So we did grad 99 on the foot base of the plane. The plane.
Oh,
that's,
the
yeah.
Bristol.
the Bristol Monument. Hey,
Okay.
why
Yeah.
couldn't I think of that name?
I don't
The
know.
foot of the Bristol Monument. Took pictures of it with a disposable camera. 1999, by the way.
Yeah.
Disposable camera. Took them to Walmart. Got them developed.
They had digital
Walmart
cameras in 1999.
Walmart called the cops. Cops showed up at the house.
Oh,
What?
my God.
Yo, yeah.
Where's your confidentiality?
Exactly. That's exactly what my dad said. It's like, well, these are supposed to be confidential.
Yeah.
And Walmart has a policy: if they see something illegal in their pictures, they have to report it.
Yeah, they're not doctors, guys.
Yeah.
There's no photo developer.
Have you
There's-
seen
there's-
them
there's-
develop
there's-
photos?
there is something there.
There
So
is
anyway,
something there?
yeah, nothing happened to that. Cops showed up, and my dad basically just told him, yeah, that's a violation of his privacy. We're not going to do anything about that.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
you're right.
Never had to deal with any of that.
Nice.
But
Good
there's a
move.
big picture of me with like a spray paint, like
Yeah.
and grab and like
Throwing up middle
10-foot
fingers.
letters, like So that was my worst vandalism.
With a manual tag.
That's
You
right.
had a cardboard with it spray painted.
That's
you
right.
know? Hashtag vandalism.
Hashtag sticking it to the man. Well, that's it.
Well, at least he left the mini golf course alone.
So, I
You
mean,
animal.
I think there's some people out there that would want to do that, to revive the mini golf course, especially with tourism being something that we really want to lean into, even
Yeah.
in the summer. Why not have something that people could do for, I don't know, half an hour?
Lots
Plenty
of
of
young
time.
vandals out there looking for a blank canvas.
Right.
Just paint it all white. Really
There's a-
give it to them.
There's a whole new generation of kids out there looking to vandalize. You know what? It's another thing you could open up to artists. If you make the art on that like crazy enough, like if somebody vandalizes, is that just a piece of it, or is that something? Like make it abstract enough that if someone tags their stupid graffiti tag name,
Yeah.
syllabus or whatever it is.
Nice thing about vandals, too, is they're happy to work for exposure.
That's absolutely right.
You don't
Not
even have
like
to
these
pay 'em. They'll
greedy
just-
artists who want to eat
You don't
and
even have
pay
to
their
ask them.
rent.
They'll just do it. You don't
Let's
even have
just
to
do it. You don't even have to ask.
hire them.
Volunteers.
You don't have to put it out to tender.
Vandals mini golf.
Vandals mini golf.
All vandals welcome.
Hole 19 is a blank canvas. Whatever you want to do.
Midnight Tokers mini golf.
Whatever you want to do.
Lean into it.
Yeah.
There you
Really
go.
Midnight Tokers
Yeah.
mini golf. Yeah. And then you'll get one of these performance artists who just takes a poop in the hole.
Oh,
It happens.
too far.
It's art, dude.
It's art. It's art, baby. I have a story about that. Anyway, that's for another time. That's going to do it for Mornings at the Cabin. If you want to refurb the old mini golf course, I don't think there's anybody you need to ask. Just go do it. That'd be cool. You guys have yourselves a great Thursday. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.